Hello guys, and welcome to a new video with a new lesson where we will continue our program, this free course of Elliott waves. And in today's lesson we will talk about Fibonacci measurements. So as you know, each wave from the Elliotian patterns has its own unique measurements and usually respects certain measurements that are made by Fibonacci tool. So in the first lesson of Fibonacci measurements, we will talk about the measurements of the subwaves of impulsive waves. So within an impulsive wave, we see that wave 2 and wave 4, 3, and 5 usually respect certain measurements. What are these measurements? So we will start with wave 2. As you can see, wave 2 retraces deeply of wave 1 and usually takes the price to the area that is represented by 50 and 61.8% from the length of wave 1. And wave 3 is usually tall and takes the price to at least 161.8% from the size of wave 1, while wave 4 retraces to the area between 38.2 and 50%. So it doesn't retrace as much as wave 2 from wave 1 because it usually takes a sideways range, and its purpose is to consume as much time as possible, because according to the alternation guideline that we will discuss it in a certain lesson that we will set aside some time for it, when wave 2 is sharp, wave 4 takes a sideways form. So the sideways form usually aims to consume time, not to retrace deeply or something like that. So that's why wave 4 is the one that usually takes a sideways form and retraces only to the area between 38.2 and 50%. So now let's talk about wave 5. Wave 5 ideally equal to wave 1. So we can take just the size of wave 1 and set the target of wave 5 through this way. Or we can use Fibonacci extension tool by following certain steps that we will see them together practically on some of the real charts together. Also, there is a relation between wave 5 and wave 1 through Fibonacci ratios, which are 0.618 and 1.618. How do we use the Fibonacci extension tool to get these measurements as a target for wave 5? We will see how through the real chart. So let's see here some examples from the measurements that we were speaking about theoretically. Here is wave 2 from an impulsive wave. We see how it retraced deeply of wave 1 to the zone between 50 and 61.8. It exceeded a little bit from above, but the price started dropping again through wave 3. Wave 4, we see how it got to the area between 38.2 and 50%. In terms of wave 3, how do we measure wave 3? Through using Fibonacci extension tool. We should click first over the beginning of wave 1, one click, second click over the end of wave 1, and a third click over the end of wave 2. So the level that represents 1.618 of wave 1 size, this is our first target for wave 3 after we confirm the end of wave 2. In terms of wave 5, there are multiple ways to set the target of wave 5 after we confirm the end of wave 4. So we will start with the first method. The first method, which says that there is a relation between wave 1 and 5 through Fibonacci golden ratios, we use the Fibonacci extension like this. First click over the beginning of wave 1 and the second click over the end of wave 1. Then the third click will be over the end of wave 4. So after we click over the end of wave 4, we double click over this white circle. We will get this schedule. We need this number 1 and 0.618 and 1.618. So the first target will be the level that represents 0.618. Second target will be 1, which represents the size of wave 1. And this target will be according to the guideline of equality that says usually wave 5 is equal to wave 1 or has an amount of pips that is similar to the amount of pips within wave 1. For example, wave 1 has 10 pips, you find wave 5 has around between 8 to 12 pips. The third target will be the level that represents 1.618. So a relation that combines between wave 5 and wave 1 through Fibonacci golden ratios. So this is one of the methods to set the target of wave 5. What is the second method? According to the second method, we should click first over the beginning of wave 1, then the second click will be over the end of wave 3. The third click will be over the end of wave 4. After we click over the end of wave 4, we're gonna press a double click over this white circle. Then we need 0.382 level and 0.618 and 1.618. So if wave 5 is not extended, then the area that represents the levels that are represented by these ratios, which are 0.382 and 0.618, will be the first and the minimum target area for wave 5. In case wave 5 extends, then its target will be the level that represents 1.618 ratio. In the example in front of us, we can see that there is an extended wave 5. We can notice here how wave 2 retraced deeply of wave 1 as usual. Wave 4 also got to the area between 50 and 38.2 of wave 3. Wave 5 in this example got extended. So if we want to use Fibonacci extension tool in order to measure the size of this wave 5 through the way that we talked about it in the previous example, a click over the beginning of wave 1 and another click over the end of wave 3. The last click over the end of wave 4. So what do we get here? The price got to the level that represents 1.618 exactly and started its counter trend move, which is this corrective wave. Therefore, we conclude that wave 5, when it gets extended, usually gets to the level that represents 1.618. When it is not extended, its target will be this area, which is between 0.382 and 0.618. This is the minimum target, and this is the target when it is extended. What is the ideal target of wave 5? The ideal target is the size of wave 1. So we take the size of wave 1, we put it over the end of wave 4, and that will be the ideal target. You can tell me now or ask me, there are multiple ratios that can be a target as a wave 5. Which target is the best? Or what ratio is the best that we should choose as our first target? Well, the answer is all of them. You can start with the first target, which is the level that represents 0.382. If it gets this level, then you get to the second target, which will be compatible with the target that we can set it through the size of wave 1. Alright, if you see an extension, like an obvious continuation of the bullishness, like this for example, you know that there is an extension, and in this case you will set the level that represents 1.618 from the distance between the beginning of wave 1 to the end of wave 3 as your extended wave 5. So that is it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson and that you learned something new today. In the next lessons, we will talk about the measurements of the other patterns, corrective patterns like the zigzags, triangles, flats, combinations, complex patterns, and so on. So that's it for today. See you in the next video.